In an interview with Playboy magazine, whatever that is, Ben Affleck said that if he knew any Republican actors, he probably wouldn't like them. Meanwhile, Katy Perry, whoever that is, said she didn't let her parents watch her sing at Obama's inauguration because they're Republicans. None of this is mind-blowing, just instructive. First, it shows the danger of lockstep. Enslaved to the ideology of the group, it creates a barrier to critical thinking, and you avoid having to listen to competing thoughts, Bob. More important, it shows that the high priests of the religion of tolerance, i.e. celebrities, are its key violators. That's because only they can be the good guys. Not voting for Obama, that's not wrong, that's evil. So you're out. Sorry, Mom and Dad. This fits perfectly with the velvet rope of exclusion that celebrities pine for. Once you find fame, the adopted liberal politics give you the illusion of intelligence that you crave. And your targets of criticism are never people you actually know. That keeps your beliefs protected and cool. And that's what it's about, being cool, a concept based on roping the shiny and insecure off from the rabble. Those excluded are anyone not living on the coast, people with boring 9-to-5 jobs, stay-at-home mobs, church types, Southerners, mom and dad, people who go about their lives doing their best without the luxury of nannies, yoga instructors, or shrinks. They are America, mocked. They're also the same people who buy movie and concert tickets, but not for long.
Bravo.
Thank you, Dana. You weren't even listening. Hey, let's talk about Ben Affleck. He's slightly taller than you. Isn't what he's saying kind of true about everybody in some way or another, that we like to create a bubble against those people that we disagree with?
Yes, except for when you are forced out of your comfort zone and you have to talk with somebody that you might not necessarily agree with, you can be pleasantly surprised. What I wrote down here was one of my great memories of the past couple years was taking the train back to D.C. with Bob every Friday night when we first started the 5. It was like for 5 months. Every Friday night we'd go back and we would say, they better understand that we're not moving to New York, and we would but we would talk about all sorts of things, politics and all the rest. And I thought we would look at each other afterwards and say, "Oh my gosh, how did you get to be? How could we both be of the same species? And you think so differently than I do." But we ended up being great friends, and so I think Affleck is cutting himself off from a lot of joy that life can bring of diversity of opinion.
Well, Bob, that's the point that she's bringing is an interesting one, which I brought up before, which is the allegiance to teams and what that does. It actually said you may never have met or worked with Dana if you had stuck to your team.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was a political consultant for 20 years, and I would work, I'd be up against Republicans all the time, and I got to know them as we went along. Ed Rollins, Lee Atwater, go on down the list. And they became friends of mine because we were in pitched battle together. I do think it is absolutely true that when you cut yourself off, if I cut myself off from Republicans, I couldn't be sitting in this chair. Except with Eric, I could cut off from that, but outside of that.
Was Lincoln really a nice guy, too?
He was a good guy. He was a good guy. And let me tell you something. I covered the second Lincoln inaugural, and it was very, very good. The Gettysburg Address was not quite as good as it sounded.
Did you help write that? Or?
Yeah, no, I didn't. But the Gettysburg Address was not nearly as good as it sounds now.
Gotcha. Do you think, though, Eric, that the right are more forgiving than the left when it comes to like ideologies?
I don't know. No, maybe not. Maybe there's that whole spectrum of the right, maybe far right's not. But here's the thing. I think these guys do themselves a disservice. Sean Penn, Ben Affleck, and anyone who's an actor. Half the country is red.
Yeah.
Half the country is conservative, and when you talk like that, you really alienate your potential audience. But I'm all for it. Listen, free speech, knock yourself out, have an opinion. Have an opinion. I don't care if actors have opinions. I don't care if athletes have opinions. Have an opinion. State your opinion. I like to know where you stand on stuff.
Yeah. The interesting thing, Andrea, is a lot of their opinions, and this is not an original thought from me, but that it's almost kind of an adolescent kind of thinking because they really weren't involved intellectually in anything except becoming famous, and now they feel a little guilty, so now they go to crusade on issues, and they're kind of, I don't know.
Well, they think they're
like
intellectuals,
freshmen in college.
right? They pride themselves on, well, the sophomores, right? Just a little bit of knowledge makes them think that they're, that's the definition of sophomoric. What I don't understand is this question was posed to Ben Affleck on Republican actors. So he's looking at people in his own domain, in his own industry, and he's saying, I probably wouldn't like them. Well, okay, I actually think, to answer your question, Eric, Republicans are a bit more forgiving. I don't think Ben Affleck is that great of an actor. I still have watched his movies. Connie Britton, who's a huge raging liberal, we have a picture of her. She's on Friday Night Lights in Nashville. I love her because she's
I went
a great
to Africa
actress.
with her.
I mean, I don't look at Connie Britton and I don't say, oh, I don't like her, I'm not going to watch
that show. But that's the interesting thing about her, because we went on this one campaign trip to Africa together, and we met at JFK Airport. We get on there. I didn't know who she was. She didn't know who I was. And we had
now you're living together.
We had this great conversation, and we spent a week together traveling to different places in Africa. I think she's amazing. Now, the one campaign that.
I thought I was going to say what race.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it wasn't until we landed that I realized who she was and she knew who I was. But we didn't talk about politics the whole time.
Can I just make one thing to correct? Greg, you always say the people who voted for Obama were from the coast.
Yeah.
I know. Let's remember 60 million voted for him.
That's true. Good point.
I think the point is that I was trying to make, if you look at actors like that, like the Ben Afflecks and the other, I don't look at him and think of his political beliefs.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
You just look at his chest.
If he's a crappy actor, which he is, I kind of do
And also,
sometimes.
Connie Britton is the lead star of a major show that crosses both parts. It's not political at all. Nashville takes place in the heart of country music.
All right, speaking of music, we have to bring this up. Katy Perry, I think this is the worst example of politics over personal that you will ever hear when you sacrifice your family for your ideology. She looks great there.
Yeah,
she chose politics over her parents. She's a jerk.
She wouldn't even be there without her parents.
That is true.
She's just, she's just talking about her parents are going to say, oh, I'm not going to watch you perform because you're didn't she wear the ballot with Obama's?
Yeah.
The vote checked on Obama. By the way, Bob, how many people voted for Obama?
60 million.
50. How many? So that means 250 million did not?
No.
Okay,
you know why, Eric? Because you can't vote if you're 3 years old. I just want to get you in on that. I know you guys would like to have that for you right-wingers, but first of all, I don't know who this woman is, so I have no thoughts about it. I've never heard of her before.
Okay.
No, seriously, I never have, except she's a good-looking babe.
The song Roar, Hear Me Roar, that's her.
Roar this.
I love her. I buy her music. I don't care if she's a Republican or a Democrat. I do think it's a little weird that she assumes that everyone knows my parents are Republicans.
Yeah.
She talks about it like it's a dirty word. Who cares? Let them watch you perform with the president. They're not. They're clearly open-minded, and she's closed-minded.
I thought that was disgusting.
I do.
The more I talk to liberals, though, the more strongly I feel that I'm right in my conservative views.
Could we run the pictures of her again so I can decide if I do know her?
No, the one in the green dress.
No, the other one. Keep going.
No, that's not.
Keep going to a couple others there. It'd be important.
Green dress.
No, not that one.
All right.
It's another one.
They took the banner down.
We're building up Bob's mental bank for later.
Thank you very much.